All right, Tim, thank you very much. And joining us on the Notre Dame Day couch are Carole and Ruthanne Sandner. Carole and her husband Jack both gave generously to the university over many years, but their greatest love was always the 8 children, 8, that they adopted and raised as their own. And 2 of those children, along with Carole's granddaughter Ruthanne, went to Notre Dame and even have passed through Carole Sandner Hall a few times, I would imagine. That is the university's grateful recognition of all that Carole and her family have done for Notre Dame over the years. Carole, Ruthanne, welcome to Notre Dame Day and welcome to our couch. How are you?
Good, we're great. Thank you very much for having us.
Good. Now, you met your husband, your late husband Jack, in law school when he was here. Was that your first connection with Notre Dame?
Absolutely. That was my first connection, and it just developed from there. He made sure I knew what the campus was. He was living at Moreau Seminary, so we would walk the lake. He took me to the grotto. We attended Mass at the Basilica, and we visited the log chapel. It was just my indoctrination, and from there, a love grew, and it's been amazing ever since. Football games too, can't forget those.
yeah, just a small
just a couple football games, like every single one since then.
Well, are you from the area?
I am local, yes I am, and I wasn't from a sports family, and my dream was nursing, so that was my focus, and it wasn't Notre Dame or anything about Notre Dame at that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and we mentioned the fact that you have adopted and raised as your own 8 children.
Yes.
And I think in this day and age, maybe 1 or 2 you hear sometimes, but 8, that's a lot. Did you plan on having a big family? How did that come about?
We did. On one of our walks, one of our many walks around the lake, we would always talk about our families and what we would want when we were married. And it was always 8 children. We want 8 children. And after many surgical procedures, God had a bigger plan for us, and we're blessed with 8. It's gonna be.
That's okay.
8 children.
Wonderful.
Sorry.
Yep. Ruthanne, I'm going to take you for a second. We'll let Carole gather herself here. Yeah, it's such an emotional story, and I appreciate you telling that very much. But Ruthanne, you're now the granddaughter. So it was actually 2 of your grandparents' children went to Notre Dame. Was it your mom or dad who went to Notre Dame?
Both my dad and my mom attended Notre Dame.
They both did?
Yes.
And did they meet on campus?
Year.
Yeah. So you're a freshman now?
Yes.
And you're living where?
I'm living in Ryan Hall.
Okay. I keep hoping it's Kavanaugh because that's where I went. And you said you've already picked a major?
Yes. I'm planning on being a classics major.
Uh-huh.
Very excited.
So this is a silly question, but did your mom and dad have any influence at all in you deciding to come to Notre Dame?
Well, of course. I always like to joke I was brainwashed as a child. But I grew up coming to Notre Dame with both my grandparents and my parents, so Notre Dame has always felt like home to me.
Right.
So I was also taught, what would you fight for by my parents and grandparents, and especially, with my grandfather's legacy of both being a boxer and his story of coming to Notre Dame.
Sure.
So when I got my acceptance letter, I knew what I was going to fight for, and it was a very easy decision going forward.
Now, you said a boxer. I assume this is Bengal bouts?
Yes.
And so was it your father or your grandfather?
My grandfather.
Okay. And so Jack was a boxer.
Right, yes, he was.
I was in Bengal bouts. I didn't know that he was.
Yeah. He was. Yes.
He was more of a, he had to coach. He was a very good boxer, so they wouldn't let him fight in the Bengal bouts, but they allowed him to coach and help teach the others.
I was strictly a punching bag, so
yes.
that was my purpose. But so talk about how you and Jack got involved in supporting Notre Dame, and obviously there's been wonderful donations over the years, and we mentioned the hall that's named in your honor. So.
Well, Jack has always said Notre Dame was good to him when he was starting in law school, and he would never forget that. And Notre Dame just became an everyday word at our home. And his love for Notre Dame just grew and grew, and we've supported it in any way that we could. It's always been part of our household, and our children and everyone were indoctrinated and knew this is our second family here at Notre Dame.
Sure, and we mentioned that 2 of your children went to Notre Dame.
Yes.
And the other 6, were they?
Well, we had 2 girls go to St. Mary's. We had 4 of them go through Holy Cross at different times. So we stayed within the tri-campus Holy Cross community for a long time. We're finally out of college, so that is good. That is good.
I guess that's, so there's that local connection all across the board, but so, 2 children, one grandchild now going.
Yes, our legacy, our third generation is here. We're so proud of her.
Right. What is it about Notre Dame that, and I'm sure you and Jack discussed this at length, what is it about Notre Dame that made you want to have your children and your grandchildren, and really the support that you've given over the years, come to a place like this?
It's the community and the faith-based community basically, and the camaraderie and the welcoming, and you feel like you're home. And everyone comes and they never want to leave, just from the different events that we've held here, that people that have never been here, they're taken in by the spirit and the camaraderie and the community.
Sure. And along those lines, we mentioned that Carole Sandner Hall, one thing we didn't say is it's the home of and the base of the Alliance for Catholic Education,
Yes.
the ACE program.
Right.
Obviously, you know, these are kids who are going out, working in Catholic schools, teaching, earning a degree
Yes.
in education. That's got to be very special to you.
It is very special because education for our family is something that Jack and I have always stressed, especially Jack. You've got to have education and we need to educate our younger people, and that's what the ACE program does, because our young people are our future, and the ACE takes their faith and their knowledge and their education in these underserved areas, and they are amazing.
Yeah.
They are just amazing.
It's been a great program, and I was there. I
Yes.
remember when it started, and everybody
Yes.
thought, "Wow, what a novel idea!" It turned out just great. Ruthanne, do you have any plans to teach, or what do you want to do as you age out of the program?
That is one of my options going forward. I would love to teach, either Latin or ancient Greek. It's part of my passion. So yes, it is one of my options.
Yeah, and the major that you've chosen, is this always been sort of something that or did you discover that when you were here?
No, it's always been something I've kind of wanted to do. I started taking Latin in second grade and ancient Greek freshman year of high school. So I've fallen in love with it, and I've gotten actually to visit Greece and Rome, and it only furthered my love for the classics. So I'm very excited to continue my studies here at Notre
Wonderful.
Dame.
That's great. Ruthanne, Carole, thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today. Thanks for your continuing support over the years. We
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. We love it. Thank you.
And let's go over to Summer Horan, who's back on the desk. Summer?